Hello there, everyone. Sushan Dillard White is here today. I am here because I would like to share with everyone on how to fill out their passport application the correct way. Now, I want to make clear that this video will be for U.S. nationals, state citizens, or even the word sovereign. Try to stay away from that word because it has such a horrible rep. However, the word itself is highly recognized and respected by the Supreme Court. However, this video it is not for 14th Amendment citizen. It is not for the public, average, regular person. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this video is for those who are seeking to become state citizen, U.S. nationals, private citizen. My videos are not for legal purposes or advice. I am just sharing what I have done for myself, and I just want to help people to fill out the application as simple as possible. I learned what I was taught, so I'm just sharing my expertise, my experience, and hopefully you guys gain a lot from it. So I am going to pull up the application. Now I have already filled it out, but I am going to walk with you step by step, point out some things. Now this passport application, it has the directions or instructions on how to fill it out. And of course, you can see and read for yourself. I do want to point out a couple of things. Now, some people will ask a question in reference about their social security number being on the passport. Some people say don't put it. Most people say do put it. Some people use what's it called? Some people use a explanatory statement to go with their actual passport application, which is up to you. I just want to show that section of where it says it at right here. Where's it at? Right here. It says acts or conditions here. They said you can actually use explanatory statement under oath, get it affidavit created, get it signed, notarized, I meant to say. And you can attach that to your application. It's almost like a affidavit. Some people say you can use affidavit as well. You can attach that to your application as well. Your social security numbers. When I did mine, I put mine in. However, I put brackets around mine because this application you're going to fill out. Typing it, it's not too cool because you can't do certain things within the actual, what do you say? The boxes. It's limited when you're actually trying to fill out online. So it's highly recommended you print it out. It's highly recommended if you can print it out, it's cool, but you can go to the actual post office, pick up the application, and just fill it in by hand. It's much better doing it that way so you can write certain things on it. A lot more things, I should say. So I'm gonna go step by step. Again, I'm just sharing what I was taught or what I've learned by watching YouTube videos. I just want to make the process as easy as possible. I was told that the way is how you fill out the application, what makes you a state citizen or a do not detain list, as some people would say, but it's actually how you fill out the application. And we're going to point out the major parts that makes it this a reality. Okay, so as you can see at the top of the application here, your choice, passport, book, card. I got both. So you can fill that in, put both. I did that. So starting with the first box, I use all lowercase lettering because that's to insinuate that one, I am not the straw man. I am a real person, and using the lowercase letters is what's highly recommended. Some use uppercase and lowercase, but definitely you don't want to use the all caps. We are literally trying to differentiate ourselves from the straw man in this process. Also, this process, for those who's never had an application, which is great, you can use this for a change name as well. Let's say you just got married, and you can use your marriage license as proof of changing your name. You can that will be attached or goes with the package. You also need, of course, your birth certificate. A couple of things is you can use besides the birth certificate. You can use a COLB, which is a certificate of live birth, as well as a part of your application process or package. They will ask you for photo ID. I remember when I filled this out, I used a international driver's license when I first did it. They sent me a letter stating they needed a real state license. Like they literally wanted to see my address on because I didn't have an address on the international license. I'm in the state of New York. I will tell you that New York, and let's say a place like Florida or Alabama, Wisconsin, every state works differently, right? When you think about New York, you people who know New York is like no joke, like no nonsense. So everything doesn't literally work per se. Like in Florida, it works. People operate differently as far as post office, as far as everything. Every state is different. But I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to New York, you can't do what you do in Florida, or you can't do what you do in Georgia, or how you go about dealing with, how do you say, the post office. When you walk in, the people, everything is it's just quite different. But the application and the whole process itself is the same, but it's just like a whole different experience. When people, I was looking over other people's videos in reference to filling out the passport, and there were some things that people say that you can do, but I come to find out as a New Yorker you cannot do. But then again, everybody's experience is different. I'm just sharing what happened with me. So like I said, they will need a photocopy of your actual ID, whether it's a driver's license, a state ID, whatever. They going to need that. That's important. So just to clear that up, you definitely need your state ID, like proof of where you live. Even though, let's say you do the explanatory statement and an affidavit, uh, they still want to see it no matter what. Because again, the whole point is to get out of their jurisdiction by doing this, by filling out this application. But they still want to see it. Fine. So, of course, I gave it to them when they asked for it, but I didn't initially add it. I did again, international driver's license, which does not have an address. You need an actual ID card with your address. Okay, so I'm filling out this application as if I just got married. And if you never had an application, if you never had a passport, great. You can do this process without having to be married. Some people will use the DS-82 form for an updated passport. But one thing about those forms, let me show you right here, for instance. This right here, it says U.S. passport renewal application. The major thing about these applications, you cannot actually fill out a certain part. Like the important part of the application is not here. And that important part is, I'll show you here. When they ask you, and when we get down to it, but they're going to ask you, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes or no? On the renewal, you don't have that as an option. And another application right here, application for passport, name change or data correction, they don't have that question here. So I'm like, well, if you wanted to update it, let's say you have a passport and you want to change your status over from a 14th Amendment citizen to a state citizen or a U.S. national, that question is not on these forms here. I found that very weird, but not weird because again, all you're doing is updating. So it's almost like as if they're using the original DS11. Let's say you fill it out and you said that you are a U.S. citizen. It's almost like because they're not giving you an option on the other two forms, how do you change that important part that literally takes you out of their jurisdiction? So the explanatory statement would be needed to go with these two forms because you cannot say I'm not a U.S. citizen. That's not even an option. You will literally need the that statement and an affidavit and have them notarized to go with your renewal or update. That's the only thing I can think of using my common sense. Now, if you lost your passport, if you lost it, you can start the whole process over with a DS11. That's what I had to do when I lost mine. So, again, if you're going to do a name change, your marriage license, you can do it this way. Meaning, like if you want to legally change your last name to your updated name or the new name or a different name from the straw man names, you can do it this way by giving them your marriage license. So, first box, I'm doing this as a married person. Taylor Smith, first name Sarah, middle name Lola. So that is that. Now your birth date, of course, I put 11/19/1980. I'm a female. Your birthplace, Manhattan, New York. It says city and country. Now on number 4, you can put the city and state, or you can do city and country. Uh, if I were to do Manhattan, USA, that's fine. If you can say, if you want to do Manhattan, New York, that's fine because they give you option either or. The social security number, you will put their number in and you will use brackets. Literally, you will put brackets on your written application because I put a video up on what brackets mean. It's almost saying you see my social security, but you're not allowed to like use it. I don't know if I'm not breaking it down like verbatim, but putting everything in brackets is letting them know, look, that doesn't mean that you have a right to assume anything. Like, I am not in your jurisdiction. The brackets are saying, look, almost like back off. So, with your social security, you will put brackets after you put your social security. I suggest that you put because I was told they get irritated when you don't put your social security, or even sometimes I was told you were denied if you don't put your social security. So put your social security and put it in brackets. Your email address, number 6, optional. Primary telephone number, optional. I did not put it, so that's why it's 0. Now, when it comes to mailing address, you have a choice: a PO box or a regular address. I put PO box because again, I want everything to be separate from straw man's address. I put PO box. Care of. We put care of on address line 2 for a reason. The major reason is to let them know that care of means I get mail here. It doesn't say I live here. It doesn't say I'm in your jurisdiction. It just says I'm getting mail here. So we put care of Sarah Lola Taylor Smith because that is the P.O. box, and that's where Taylor Smith or Sarah picks up her mail. So we do care of. It's important you put care of in a completely different address than the actual, say, your home address. You're not going to use both. You're differentiating yourself or distinguishing yourself from the straw man and the real person. Manhattan as the city, New York, zip code, again, you're going to put those zip codes in brackets. I cannot put the zip code in brackets right now, but I'm telling you, put your zip code in brackets. You will put USA for the country. We're going to slide on down. The part that says stop, continue to page 2, you're going to do exactly that. You're not going to fill none of this out until you get in front of the actual uh, agent or the person at the window. You don't touch this part at all, okay? You're going to fill that information out in front of them because they have to literally bear witness to you doing this. Now, let's see. When you look at the here, when they actually put your signature right here, it says applicant's signature. You are going to sign that. And when you do sign that in front of them, you're going to put on top of your signature without prejudice. We put that up there so they understand that, again, it makes them look at your application as well. But putting without prejudice, we all know what that code means, what that means. Again, this is for those who are looking to become state citizens, U.S. national, private citizens, or even sovereign. This is not for the 14th Amendment citizen or regular person. This is not for you. Once again, this is for private citizens. You're going to say without prejudice. Once you sign that in front of them, when they ask you to, you will again put without prejudice on top of your name. We're going to slide on down to the second page. Name of applicant, of course, it says last name, first and middle name. As you can see, it says Taylor Smith, Sarah Lola. Your birthday, the 11/19/1980. Now, they're going to ask for your mother and father's name as well as your mother and father's birthplace. Either or can go first, does not matter. What does matter the most is coming over and where it says U.S. citizen. Now, this is the la creme of the application. This is what makes your status change by clicking and making sure you check off U.S. citizen. Anywhere where it says U.S. citizen, you are going to say no, no, no. Because originally, when we first fill out the application and not knowing about the straw man situation or the reality of the straw man, we put yes, we're U.S. citizens because that's who we thought we were. We're not U.S. citizens. No, we're not. Our allegiance is to the United States of America, the Republic, not the U.S. government corporation, United States Corps. That's not who we are. So everywhere on your application where it says U.S. citizen, you will say no, no, no. That's what makes you a U.S. national, literally. That's like the major part of the application, which just takes you out of their jurisdiction, differentiates who you are compared to the straw man. So important. You're going to always say no. So, you are a citizen for both your parents? No. When it comes down to number 11, if you've never been married, you will check no. If you have, you will put your spouse's name, the birth date, and so forth. Self-explanatory. Again, we see that box. It says U.S. citizen. No. Nowhere are we going to say yes. We're going to always say no on every part of a U.S. citizen question. No. Now, number 12, additional contact number, occupation, employer. No, no, no. Put 000. Meaning like, do not fill it out. You don't have to. It's your choice. But I advise you not to. It's none of their business. Come to understand that giving up that information is conflicting when you look up certain words, occupation and employer. It somehow puts you back because these are legalese words, legalese. Different code and speaking in words. English language is duplistics. Do not fill it out. I advise you not to. I did not, so don't fill it out. You can definitely do your height, your hair, your eyes. Now, when it comes to number 18, travel plans, they say 2 months. They say put like a 2 month time span. If you put it like a month, I put 6, but that should be 7. If you put like 1 month or even a couple of weeks, it's simply not enough time for them to literally expedite the whole situation, right? And let's say you are traveling. If anything, you got proof that you are leaving the country and coming back if necessary, but give them 2 months realistically, because you want to be realistic with yourself, with them, and of course, you want everything to be accurate. You don't want them rushing and messing things up. I put my application in, what is it? I put mine in May. I didn't get mine. No, I did it in April and I didn't get it to June. Why? Because I told you to mix up. I use a international driver's license instead of a regular driver's license or a state ID, which held the process up. However, give them 2 months. Um, but you can pay for your application to be expedited. That means you give them more money to have it get back to you quick. You could do it that way because that is an option. Okay, so now we're going to go to number 19. We're going to say rural free delivery. We put that because, again, we're trying to keep ourselves out of their jurisdiction. When it comes to city, no matter what city you live in, wherever you are, as you can see, I put Manhattan, unincorporated Republic of New York. Again, all to keep yourself out of their jurisdiction as much as possible. As you can see, zip code is 0000. Again, we're not giving them jurisdiction. This is why we put 000. Okay, so that being said, your emergency contact, you can put people down if you like. I didn't put no one because I don't want to put someone that I know in no jurisdiction. It's almost like me personally, I didn't want to put nobody because, again, I don't want no type of jurisdiction involved at all in my application. I didn't put anybody. So it's up to you. If you like. Number 21, it says, have you ever applied for a U.S. passport? Most will say no, but if you did, if you have the information, they're going to want your name. They're going to want the passport card number if you have it, and so forth. Everything else is self-explanatory. So if you haven't, you haven't. If you have, put the information that's needed. And we're going to go all the way back up to the top here in this little box over here. Come to find out, END means endorsement. Now, what are we endorsing? I'm going to move over to this particular endorsement sheet. This is the Foreign Affairs Manuals. I will show you their website first. Right here, this is their website. And this is where we get the endorsement from, this information pertaining to the passport. But they got other stuff too. But as you can look over here, number 8, this is where I get the endorsement information from. Okay, this is their website. So as you can see, it says on top, it all says unavailable. However, this is their website. I just wanted to show you that. Meanwhile, the endorsement numbers that we're going to put on top of our actual passport, I'm going to slide this down. All right. Number 8, all, and number 9. As you can see here, what the endorsement says. Number 8 says the bearer is also known as your name, your given names, your surname, your new name, right? Number 9 says, as you can see, it says the bearer is a United States national and not a United States citizen. Because I was told the old application allowed people to say if they are a U.S. national or if they are state citizen. I was told it's no longer on the application. Of course, we don't see it today, but this is what it was back in the past. So number 9 also says telling the people who are dealing with the passport to please put this in our passport book, right? Place this in the passport book and so forth. So that's endorsement numbers that you're going to take. You can use 9, 8 and 9, but definitely 9, your choice. But definitely we're going to put 9 up in that corner. It's a 9 all right here. right on that line. You're going to put 8. I put 8 and 9, and I put all. You're going to write that in. That's another thing that makes them look at your application versus just look at it as a regular application. You're doing things that's making them look, to making them understand that, look, whether they like it or not, you're literally taking yourself out of their jurisdiction by doing so. So this is how I filled out my application. Now, I will tell you that because I already had a passport and I lost it, when I got the new passport back, they said this is a replacement passport, right? So I'm like, I know it's a replacement, and because they don't give no indicator stating or showing or telling us that our passport book is, how do you say, updated, or it doesn't say, oh, you are a state citizen or national. It doesn't give that information, right? So this is why a person, I found out that it's how you fill out the application that literally makes you a state citizen or U.S. national. They don't tell us. Of course, they're not going to. But it's how you actually fill it out. And because you say you are not a U.S. citizen, you're automatically taking yourself out of that jurisdiction. So I just wanted to share with you how to fill out the application correctly. And again, I hope this makes sense. I hope I explained it as clear as possible. I hope you guys have a good one. Until next time, shalom.